Welcome to Zen with Gwen meditation sessions. Hi, I'm Gwendolyn. For today, let's do a listening meditation. So this is a traditional style of Zen Buddhist meditation, although it probably occurs in other practices as well. And just like the name suggests, it involves listening. So in this meditation, sound will be the object of focus. Pretty much all rules of thumb that would apply to a breath-focused meditation, observing the breath, can be applied here to observing sounds. It can be done in very much the same way, sitting up tall on a cushion, or in any other position that helps you to get the most out of this practice. As always, you are in control. You are the CEO of you. If this practice gives you any sort of adverse or negative reactions, you can adjust it, you can stop it, you can take a break and come back later. But for now, let's get started. So get into that perfect position for yourself. It may be sitting up tall on a cushion, might be leaning back in a comfy chair, possibly going for a walk, but please be aware of your surroundings as well as sound. Or could be a nice way to take a break, lying down. I personally find this kind of meditation as a more alert, less relaxed style of meditation. So it's not one of those meditations to go to help you sleep at night. But it can still be a good break during the day to calm and focus your mind. And even though it's a sound-focused meditation, let's still start with a few deep breaths. Full inhale, long, slow exhale. And to bring ourselves into the present moment on purpose, let's notice how we're feeling. The feeling of clothes or temperature on skin, feeling the surface beneath you, any other physical sensations that come up. You may like to notice how you're feeling emotionally today. And you can choose to put a name to that emotion. Maybe it's a multifaceted emotion, picking several words to describe how you're feeling. Or you could just observe the feeling and notice it. And you may like to set an intention for our time together. It can be of benefit to set an intention because it plants a seed in the mind. So often we set it at the beginning of practice and then we completely forget about it. But that's okay. It's starting the blueprint in our minds for where we want to go. It can be beneficial to set an intention in present tense and repeat it to yourself 3 times. Now let's dive in to our listening meditation. So notice the most obvious sounds first. This is probably the sound of my voice, but you may notice different qualities about my voice if you go looking for them. The sibilance in my S's, the modulation between high and low notes. If I remind you of someone that you know, things that maybe you wouldn't pay attention to if you were just listening to the instructions. What kind of emotion do you think is behind the voice? What do you think I look like? There's probably a picture of a person's face that pops into your head as you listen to me. Maybe asking yourself where you think I'm from. What kind of biases come up as you hear my voice? What kind of person do you think sounds like this? What kind of life do you expect me to have? And it's important to note that none of those thoughts or ideas are actually attached to the sound. They're ideas in your mind from somewhere else, some other association that you have. Even if you know me, you don't know every detail about my life, and there are probably assumptions that you've made. Now let's extend this concept to the sounds that you hear in the background behind me. So you might be able to hear the rain that's pounding on my window. Sometimes there are birds outside. You might have picked that sound up. And then what images are associated with that? Do you picture a cold, stormy night? A sunny, warm, rainy afternoon? Rainbows or dark clouds? And then what sort of reaction do you have in response to those sounds? Is this meditation interesting? Does it fire up curiosity in you? Maybe it's tedious. Maybe you find it's really calming or puts you on high alert. Continue listening to sounds and noticing what comes up for you, emotionally, physically, mentally, whatever it may be. And now I'll leave you some time in silence where you are to notice sounds around you. And I'll keep popping in with different suggestions for how to observe the sounds. To start, notice what sounds are furthest away from you. So really stretch your ears, or kind of squint your ears to listen to the sounds as far away from you as possible. You can name the sound and see what images come up in your mind. What associations do you have with that sound? Next, try to free yourself from those associations. So hear just the raw sounds as though you had never heard them before. What are the qualities of sound? Imagining that this is a brand new sensation for you. Let's do the same with sounds inside the space that you're in, so much closer to you. Observe the sounds, see what associations they bring up, and then free yourself from those associations. Observe the raw information coming into your ears. Let's do the same with any sounds that are coming from you. Sounds of breath, digestion, fidgeting, whatever it may be, sounds from you or very close to you. Notice the associations that your brain makes, and then try to free yourself from those associations, not analyzing or putting any name or face to the sounds. Next, in very much the same way that we would observe the rise and fall of the breath, let's observe the rise and fall of sounds. Notice sounds as they begin, as they fade, and then as they vanish. This can be a great practice for working with feelings of anticipation, waiting. So much of life is spent waiting or anticipating. So this can be a great time to practice simply letting things be. Is it possible to give up waiting and exist in the moment, fully soaking it up? So much of life is spent seeking, searching, looking for things from outside ourselves. Is it possible here to just let things move and pass and occur, sounds coming to your ears without looking for them or seeking them out? Another common focus of attention is your liking mind. Maybe you like some sounds and dislike other sounds. Maybe you're in a noisy place and you think, oh, that sound is really ruining my meditation. You can let that sound or that feeling, your own response, be the focus of your observation. Anything can be a focus of your meditation. So even if it's noisy, if you like a sound, if you don't like a sound, or the emotions that rise up, you can pick any of those as the focus for your attention. Or perhaps you notice silence, the absence of sounds. Does that mean that you're better able to hear a ringing in your own ears, your own breath? How do you react to silence? Like that old Alanis Morissette song, Can you handle silence? Are you okay with silence? And are you okay with yourself in silence? You may like to picture the sounds rising and falling like waves, coming towards you at the shore and then going back out to sea. Or maybe you picture the sounds physically moving through the air until they touch your eardrums. We'll stay here in silence for a little bit, and then I'll start to bring some music in. You can use the music as an object of mindful listening and apply any of our techniques, picturing it, noticing your response to it, noticing your attachments, freeing yourself of your attachments, waiting for sounds, observing, freeing yourself of waiting, riding the waves of noise through the music, the same as you did through listening to other sounds. And now come back to the sound of my voice as the final object of listening. Noticing once more the sounds coming to your ears and how you're feeling in the present moment. Thank you so much for choosing to spend this time with me. From my light to yours, namaste.